Happy New Year, everyone! And with the new year comes a lot of slowing down, and a lot of us are starting our new budget for the year and cleaning out all of those spaces we've been ignoring for a little while. And one of my worst spaces is my freezer. I have a really hard time with any type of food waste, and I have this giant container in my freezer. I'm wondering if you have one similar to this, full of the same thing. Inside here is bananas. My family goes through phases where sometimes they are crushing bunches of bananas by the day, and then bunches of bananas will just turn brown and rot on top of the microwave. And all of them end up in here. Now I know it looks super gross, but the brown bananas really do make the sweetest baked goods. So one of my resolutions is to finally clear out this banana bucket and start fresh in 2023. This is actually the same banana bread recipe that my mom used to make for me when I was a kid, and I have grabbed it right here for you. And here are my notes and how I've changed it over the years. I've made this many times for vegan friends and family or members of my family that just have an intolerance to dairy. There's lots of substitutes you can make, but generally this recipe is very simple and very forgiving when you need to substitute ingredients. I have a hard time being still, so you'll see me moving around the kitchen a lot, and many times when I'm doing these cooking videos, it's at nighttime when my kids are about to go to bed or are in bed. It's just something that sort of tires me out and calms my mind down in the evening hours. I also dislike doing a ton of dishes after making a more complicated recipe, so you'll see that I reuse the same measuring cups and guesstimate with some of my measurements so that I have to do less dishes at the end. Your first step here is you're going to blend your shortening and sugar together until it's fluffy, and then add your eggs. And what I find is helpful when making this banana bread is I add my salt and baking soda and milk all to the egg and sugar mixture so that it blends through more evenly. Sometimes I find when you sift these ingredients that have smaller measurements in with the flour, like it says in the recipe, that it doesn't spread out as evenly through the batter, and you might have like a really salty bite or something like that. So I add in all of those small ingredients now. On a totally unrelated note, I apologize now if you hear drum practice in the background of this voiceover. My youngest has decided that 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday is the best time to practice his drums. Does anyone else use specific brands just because they saw them in their childhood home? Because that's the case with this baking powder. I can't seem to buy or use any other type. We're back to those nasty bananas. They've had a little more time to thaw out on the counter, and now we can mush them up. If yours are still pretty frozen, just put them in the microwave. I've done that many times. And don't worry about all of the extra liquid. That's just going to add to the flavor of our banana bread. Okay, now we are going to add in our little bit of our flour, and then alternate with a little bit of our banana, squished up bananas, and then a little more flour, and a little more bananas. And I like to end with the bananas. I'm not sure why this makes the batter better. I haven't done the science, but I've done it both ways where I add all of the flour in and all of the banana at once and mixed it together, and it just does not rise up or taste as good. Now I grease all of my pans, whether I'm making sweetbreads or regular breads, with coconut oil. Something about coconut oil, it just makes everything slide out no problem. I don't find that it adds any extra flavor to what you've made, so this is the perfect choice for us. Like I've mentioned quite a few times, we don't love to have a lot of waste in our house, and I found that this is the best low waste option that is an alternative to the spray cans of like Pam or something like that. Oh my goodness, can you see how cute my cat is in the background? Just look at him laying there. That is so cute. Probably. I have not fed them in a little while though.
They're probably dead.
They're not.
What? They're not dead. How?
Think of some food scraps we can feed them. Did you eat any bananas today?
Yeah.
Are there banana peels in the compost? No. My youngest sometimes has the most deadpan questions and answers, and he just kills me. Anyways, if you haven't seen one of my earlier videos, you wouldn't know that we have 200 worms in our house because in our kitchen we have a worm composter. And over the fall and winter, I kind of have forgotten to feed them a little bit. So I'm thinking it might be a fun video to open up our composter to see if our worms are still alive and maybe give an update since we first put it together. I'm pretty sure they're still okay in there.
Will you be stopping in your video?
Probably. Banana bread takes quite a while to bake, so you have just enough time to clean up the few dishes that you did make and put your kids to bed. And then after about 55 minutes to an hour, you will have some fresh, delicious banana bread. And maybe it'll be quiet enough that you can even eat a slice of it on your own. I wanted to take this out while it was still warm to show you how easily it just slips out of the pan using the coconut oil. I wish I had a clip of this banana bread when we cut it open, but honestly, my kids just demolished it, and I didn't have time to get a clip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again next time.